welcome to another episode of Anyone Can Paint. Today's going to be a brand new painting. And if you come up to the canvas, I'll show you what we got. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. This is the Tawas Point Lighthouse, which is on Lake Huron. This actually comes from a photograph that I took when I was up there one time on a little bit of a long weekend vacation. We're going to start with our sky as we always do. And I'm going to kind of paint around some of this lighthouse so I don't wipe the whole thing out. But this is going to be a combination of some white and blue. And I'm going to use the extra large flat bristle brush just because there's so much area here. And I just grabbed white and blue on the brush. And we're just going to bring it up here and blend it right on the canvas. Again, I'm just reloading. And I need to put some of that color right in here because that's where the glass, where the white is. So you're going to see the sky beyond that. And when it's going to be a pretty blue sky, we'll put some clouds in here. But we just need to get this blocked in. And of course I get a hair right off the bat. Just going to reload. Again, some more white and blue. And again, you can, as always, you can adjust this as you go. So if you got way too much blue like I did there, just add some white to it. There. After that dries, we will, like I said, we'll put some clouds up there. All right, I'm going to clean this brush out. And the next thing we're going to do is going to start working on the lighthouse itself. And I'm going to go to the large flat bristle brush. And this is going, we're going to put the underpainting on this. This is going to be a bluish gray color. So we're going to start with some white, a little bit of blue, and a touch of brown. I'm going to try and grade it up a little bit more so it doesn't blend so much with the sky. So you can actually see what we're doing here. That's a little bit better. Now, I'm going to have to move the canvas to different positions as I'm working on this. So you're going to have to bear with me here. To get I'll show you how you can paint a straight edge. It's always easier to do it if you're doing it horizontally. And you want to get a chiseled edge on your brush. And if you put it right on the edge that you want to do, I'm not taking the brush off the canvas at all. This is just kind of like a squiggly little stroke. And you just run it right up the side where you want it to go. And I'm going to flip it over to do the other side. The reason I do this is because it's really hard to do a straight edge when you're doing a vertical stroke, because what tends to happen is that it's pretty easy to maintain that edge as you first start. And then as you start to run out of paint out of your brush, the tendency is you push in harder to get more paint out, so you don't have to reload. As soon as you do that, the bristles kind of start to splay out a little bit, and it gets a little ragged looking and just doesn't work well. But if you do horizontal like this, and you just keep the pressure of the point on the bristles, it's a little bit easier to maintain a straight edge. And again, this is not the color of the Tawas Point Lighthouse, but it's the underpainting for it. I'm going to step back for a second so I can see if my angles are right, and that's not too bad. And I'm going to bring this color up a little higher here. All right, now we can clean out the brush. And I'm going to go to the medium flat bristle brush, and we're going to block in the house that's attached to the lighthouse. I believe years ago, when there was a lighthouse keeper here, this is probably where his family lived. And this is, if you're familiar with this, this is that red roofed building that's next door. It's a brick building. So I'm going to take some red all by itself, and we're going to block in the roof. Got wild hair there. When I was up, not necessarily the trip that I took these photographs on, but another time I was up there, I happened to time it right, because that lighthouse is operated by the Coast Guard, as most lighthouses are anymore. And they were having, I don't know if it was a special weekend or if it's something that they will typically do sometimes in the summer, but they were having, they had an open lighthouse tour. And I was able to go up to the top of this and look out, and it was just an awesome sight. All right, so there's our red roof, the brick building part of this. And when we're done with the painting, you're not going to see a lot of that, because we're going to have some foliage and stuff in here. When I actually took this, this is part of the state park, Michigan State Park system. And this is actually goes out on the point in Tawas Bay, thus creating the bay area there. And I'd gotten out of my car and was going to go over here to take reference photos of this, but there were so many people over there that there's kind of a trail that goes out and around the point. And so I decided that maybe I was going to go the opposite way that most of the people were going. What I got is some red, some burnt sienna, and I'm going to put a touch of blue in it. Maybe just a touch. There we go. And so I thought I would go the opposite way, and then with any luck that the people would be, most of the people would be gone by the time I got over there, and then I could take some photos. And as I started walking down the trail, I started looking over at the lighthouse, and this was actually the scene that I had saw, and I snapped photos of this. And so this is where this comes from. Now, direction-wise, this is on the east side of the lighthouse out near the beach area. And so I'm looking west. So the bay actually is behind that, and Tawas itself is back that way, just as a point of reference. Now our sun's going to come in from the left-hand side. So this will be the brightest part of our building. And I may tone that roof down a little bit, but we'll see how that works after it dries. So this part is going to be in shadow. So we're going to add a little bit more blue to this color. This is going to darken this up a little bit. And we'll just work that down. I'm going to take a little burnt sienna right on my brush. Maybe add a little bit of red to this. And I just want to kind of calm this red down a little bit. Color is not quite that bright. I think we'll go back after this dries and put some red on top of that and see how that looks. Because this is a little bit brighter than that. And then I'm going to put a darker color right underneath where the roof hangs over. Again, you're not going to see a lot of this building after the foliage goes in. All right, we'll clean out our brush. And speaking of our foliage, we're going to start blocking some of that in. I'm going to stay away from the foliage that would go over the house part of it and part of the lighthouse. We'll put that in later because we need to get certainly the details to the lighthouse in first, but we're going to kind of block in the bottom portion. This is just done with some blue and green. And I'm just double loading my brush where you get blue in one corner, green on the other. And just kind of mix it on the canvas. And as long as this is dark, it'll be perfectly okay. And I'm just using, I don't know, I should probably come up with a name for this because I use this stroke often. It's kind of like a squiggly stroke. I don't take my brush off the canvas. It's just kind of like this. Kind of softens the edge, and especially for grasses and things, kind of gives that indication of some weeds or grass or something, but just kind of softens the bottom up. Now we're going to have some foliage that's going to, again, go up higher than this, but we need to get into the details for the lighthouse and stuff first. But that should work for now. And we'll clean that out. Next thing we're going to do, the sky's not totally dry, but we'll see if we give it a shot. We're going to put some fluffy clouds up there. I could probably lock this back down. There we go. Make it a little bit easier to work with. Now, how I do clouds is that I'm going to use my medium flat bristle brush, and I get paint on one corner. And then my first stroke is to the sunlit side of the cloud. And then I kind of shape the cloud, and then I kind of fade it back away from the sunlight. So I'm going to put a cloud right there. And again, I just kind of put this in enough to shape it. Maybe it goes right off the canvas. And then I just start working it back, and I'm lightening up the pressure. As I work it back. So it tends to do that fade thing. And then you can go back, and if you need to put a little bit more bright into it, kind of make it three-dimensionalized. And again, you can just work that back. And the sky is still a little bit wet, so we can adjust this. And we'll put maybe a smaller one that goes in here. Maybe some that just drift a little lower. Just put these in really loose. I see people overworking clouds all the time and just trying to make the perfect cloud, and they just end up overworking it. I'm going to let this sky dry a little bit more before I go in and redefine some of these clouds. This one needs a little bit more color. That one certainly does. But that's still kind of wet in there. I think now we'll start working on the base of our lighthouse. I'm going to use the same brush, and we're going to go into some white again. And this is going to, again, the light's coming from the left, so you want this side to be the brightest part of the lighthouse. And we're probably going to have to hit this a couple times with this color, but and you almost, when you're painting something white, you almost have to plan on going over it a couple times because, as you know, acrylics dry darker and white really dries darker. So we'll probably have to hit that a couple times. And we'll just kind of work this back. And we're not going to cover all of that up. We're going to leave a little bit on the other side, on the right-hand side, for the shadow. And just kind of lightly fade that back. And again, we've got more to do to that. I'm going to clean that brush out. And we're going to switch to the small flat bristle brush. And I'm going to go back to the gray color, which has got some blue and some brown and some white. And this is a little bit darker gray. And there's a band of gray. It goes at the very top of the structure of the lighthouse. Like that. And we can clean that out. Then we're going to go to the liner brush. And we're going to get that wet. We're going to go right back into that gray color. And I've left that the dome of this up there. But we need to put the pieces that kind of connect the dome and the base of it. So I'm just going to go up and just bring down some support pieces. And there's obviously a few of these. And I'm going to clean that brush out. We can kind of block in with the small flat bristle brush the top. Now the top to this, where the dome is really dark. So this is blue with just a little bit of brown to it. This is like a black color. We're just going to block this in. Remember, to get this color, this is like 3 parts blue, 1 part brown. I think I need to bring this over a little bit more. And then at the bottom, because of the angle that we're standing at, you're actually going to see a little bit of the inside of this. So this comes down kind of like a little bit of a half circle. Just like that. And we'll clean out the brush. Actually, I think we'll stay with that brush. We're just going to make it a little bit more dark. Now I'm going to start to make the railing that goes around the lighthouse itself. So this goes right along the base here and actually sticks out past the structure of the lighthouse a little bit. Just like that. And we're going to clean that one out. In fact, I need to make a little bit more of the dark. All right, there we go. Now, we're probably going to have to start winding down pretty soon. We're going to use our liner brush. And you want to go into that dark. Remember to get this kind of wet. And then we can start actually putting the railing on itself. And underneath, you want to put the support pieces in. So at the very end, this comes in and goes right into the side of the lighthouse itself. Like that. So you got like a couple 45-degree angles. And then you want to put one in the center. And these go down about as far down as what those are. And this is where we're going to have to stop, unfortunately. I'm going to double check all my corners and angles and things, but thank you so much for watching. If you've got any photographs that you would like to have considered to turn into a painting that's a landscape photograph, send them or email them to me. We'll take a look at them, and maybe one day we could make a painting out of it. Also, if you do any painting at home and you'd like me to take a look at your painting, need any advice or anything, please send that. I'd be more than happy to help you with that too. Remember, you can do this. I promise you you can. Anyone can paint. We'll see you next week.